Hello, I'm Howard, pastor of the Roseville New Church, and welcome to Spiritual Shorts. For those of you who join me regularly, and for anyone hearing my voice for the first time, I was raised in the United States, but these days I live in Australia where I serve a congregation just outside of Sydney. Like many people, at least Americans in our 20s and 30s with a young family, we attended church regularly. And looking back, I'd say that there were two reasons. First, because, well, that's what our parents did. But second, my wife and I did it intentionally. We wanted a spiritual foundation for building a lasting marriage. And yet, if I'm honest, I didn't really get it. I didn't feel the presence of the Lord. I didn't feel like I held His word. I didn't see Him operating in my life like other people spoke of seeing Him. And that all changed about 25 years ago. The faith community that we were a part of began an intentional church-wide study of the Ten Commandments. One by one, week after week, everyone together, and it was an awakening. I came alive to the real power of the Lord's Word, the tangible power of His Word. Most people in the Western world, even those who don't go to church, they know the Ten Commandments exist. And most of them could probably name a few. Don't murder, don't lie, don't commit adultery, and don't steal. But how many of us have ever really given any thought to what the Lord Himself says about how we are meant to treat those commandments? In Deuteronomy chapter 12, He gives these words of instruction. If you carefully obey the commandments I am giving to you today, if you love the Lord your God, and serve Him with all your heart and soul, then He will send the rains in their proper seasons. You will have all you want to eat, but be careful. Don't let your heart be deceived. Commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these words of mine. Tie them to your hands. Wear them on your foreheads as reminders. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at home, on the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that you and your children may flourish. Write them on the doorposts of your house. Many of my Jewish friends take this instruction literally. On the doorposts of their homes, they place a mezuzah, a small case holding a parchment scroll inscribed with passages from the Torah, including the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And every time they enter or leave their home, they see it, they touch it. It's a constant reminder of the Lord's commandments and His covenant with them. But how are we in the new church to understand this at a deeper level? The new church teaches that just as the house is a dwelling place for the body, the mind, that's a dwelling place for the soul. And the doorposts of our minds, those are our affections. What we love, what draws us, what we want to bring close. So the real question is, what affections frame the doorway of your mind? Do you have an affection for the Lord and for His Word? Do you have an affection for your neighbor, loving them, treating them as yourself? When those holy affections form your doorposts, well then everything that enters your mind, everything that approaches your soul is measured against the Lord's commandments. And Swedenborg emphasizes that the Lord's commandments are not just about our outward actions, but about our heart and our intentions also. The Lord gives us the freedom to choose whatever enters our minds, and through His Word, the strength to allow in what is good and true and to gently turn away what's not. And this is an ongoing journey, and the Lord is always with us, helping us to grow. And here's where this becomes so practical for us today. Most of us live a huge part of our lives online, on our computers, on our phones. And every click, every scroll, every suggested post or video is like something knocking at the doorposts of our mind, asking to be let in. Algorithms are designed to capture us. And now AI is shaping what we see and even how we think. And let's be honest, AI is far better at feeding our confirmation biases than we are at keeping them in check. I have to ask, are we ready for it? Do we have the discernment to engage in an AI-driven world without losing sight of who we are and whose we are? The good news is this. The Lord has already given us what we need. When His Word is written on the doorposts of our mind, His truth and love give us the clarity to see and the freedom to choose wisely, even in an AI-driven world. This is where a spiritual mezuzah comes in. Imagine placing one not just on the doorway of your house, but on the doorway of your computer, your phone, your tablet. Not a literal scroll, but an inner practice. Every time you open a browser, every time you log in, you remember, do I love the Lord? Do I love the neighbor? And does what I'm about to consume or share measure up to the Lord's commandments? Every new idea that comes knocking, is it consistent with the commandments? If not, do I have the affection for rejecting it? And if it is, do I welcome it in, making it part of who I am? And that's when transformation begins. That's when we see, not just in theory, but in practice, the living power of the Lord's Word. I experienced this 25 years ago, and I believe that you can too. So maybe the next time you reach for your phone or open your computer, pause for a second. Remember your spiritual mezuzah. And then ask yourself, do I love the Lord? Do I love my neighbor? And does what I'm about to consume or share measure up to His commandments? That simple pause could be the difference between being manipulated by the world and being transformed by the Word. God bless you. And thank you for joining me for this episode of Spiritual Shorts. Life is a lot more engaging when we live it intentionally.